Hiya folks,
I'm here.
it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. And when last we left off, we are in the fragment of Ione Bratha that resides in the centre of Karen's Scar. In a pool not far from the entrance, we encountered a strand of what's called Ondra's hair, through which Ondra communicated with us, saying that the only way for us to destroy the Eyeless will be to take Abaddon's hammer and strike the crystal at the centre of this fragment rhythmically, thus drawing the Eyeless to the crystal fragment, where they will mimic Abaddon's hammer's actions and smash the thing to pieces. The only downside is that we will be buried along with the Eyeless as this whole place comes crumbling down. Ondra wants our memories to be forgotten as much as the Eyeless, but we're going to try our best to survive regardless. And I have been thinking that maybe Abaddon, whose essence is contained within the Eyeless, should survive in some way as well. But, first things first, we have to take out this Eyeless. Yep, we get our shots off. This means you can then do this. You can blast here.
What?
You need to cast this here.
Yes.
You need to move forward. You also need to move forward. We're going to knock you over.
How may I
Next
help?
thing you're going to do is blast this spell. You do this. You'll cast Disintegrate. Do a great job of dealing damage to you. Fantastic. Next, we need to move it forward. So you can do that. And this. Then we need this. And you need to knock down the Eyeless again. Aha! And this is already near death. In a moment, it will be gone. How about they? Knocked down again, and they just blinked out of existence. We defeated them so hard that they glitched into nothing. I'll take that. Ondra looked at that and went, okay, they might actually survive. I might have underestimated that party. All that needed was a comedic sound. But sadly, there was no comedic sound.
I'm here.
I don't know if the mic picked that up, but if it
Your
did,
thoughts must flow deeply
I'm happy.
indeed.
Anyway, over here we go.
I'm here.
Up here, where hopefully there won't be more Eyeless. There are going to be more Eyeless. Okay.
I'm here.
He is here. Ooh, there's a
Your thoughts
big
must flow
body of
deeply
water here.
indeed.
Big body of
Your
water.
thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Eyeless here? No. There is that, though. Right, let's... Oh. That's what we need to interact with. Yep, we know it when we saw
There's
it.
the crystal. I don't suppose Ondra could have put it on top of the moon? Hey.
No, sadly not. This is where the diving equipment is going to be very useful indeed. So, we shall save, and hope that things don't go horribly wrong. Oh, who are we kidding? Things are going to go horribly wrong. Let's go.
I'm here.
We're the one with the hammer, so we have to do it. A ridge overlooks a broad chamber half flooded with lake water. You could crawl down this way, but it looks too steep and slick to climb back up. This is the game going, here's your point of no return. Do this, and you're not coming back. We will climb down. Okay! That's the thing Ondra was... Oh no.
Quarter to...
Oh no, it's a giant Kraken. So, there are tentacles. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tentacles that are separate and a lot that aren't. Right, we're going to be firing every single spell we have at this. Every single spell. All of them. All the spells. Right, let's go. Okay, they're going to, immediately come over here. Well, this is bad. Do we focus on the Kraken itself, or do we deal with the tentacles first? I think the best port of call is to blam the tentacles with everything we've got. Switch to Abidon's hammer. Switch to the hammer.
Hey.
You are there. You are there.
Yes?
Switch to your sword. I anticipate this is going to go really badly wrong. Really badly wrong. So, now this,
Your thoughts must
you
flow
need to shoot
deeply
here.
indeed.
How may I help?
You need to absolutely use this. Yeah, this seems like a boss fight. Barely injured. The Kraken is just going, "Hello, I'm here to slay you all. Please don't slay us all." That would be very unfortunate. But I don't think we got much choice in the matter. We really don't have much choice in the matter. The music has given up, by the way. The music is gone.
I'm here.
This is absolutely a situation where we want to do this.
Lavaru beyond seek.
And injured. Excellent. Keep
Following
doing your
your
stuff.
What?
You now need to cast this spell. Oh, there's a fourth tentacle here. They're all here now. All the tentacles are here. I highly hope there's only 4 of them.
See on.
Okay, you
Your
now have
thoughts must
116
flow
power,
deeply
so
indeed.
you start disintegrating this tentacle, because if we can get rid of 1, then we only have to focus on 3 more. Okay, next thing. This is actually a really good thing to do, because you can just blast everything. Like that, and that. This is when there are an
Following your
infinite
lead.
supply of tentacles. What I'm glad about is you're just not doing anything right now. It's because we've not moved too far into the
I'm here.
arena.
Yes?
Okay, next thing. You're just going to keep doing that.
Your thoughts
you
must flow deeply
switch to
indeed.
your daggers, honestly. You're right there. Daggers is probably the right call. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still 4. The music has come back. You're still incredibly menacing looking. Very
Yes.
menacing. Okay, next thing we need to do, a concussive missile. Okay, that's 1 down. Switch to this one. Actually, disintegrate it, then switch to that one. And you're now free. There are still 2. Okay, that's fine. Also ogres. The good thing is pool is quite shallow. Okay, we have a magic missile here. You just keep attacking. And here come the ogres! Right, I need you. Oh, there's another tentacle coming. Oh no, that's that tentacle. It's backed off. Well, go deal with the tentacle. Oh, Biscuit's over there. Biscuit, that's a problem. Can I heal my companion? Yeah, I can from all the way over there. Good. Don't know why you're over there, Biscuit. Genuinely don't know, but what I do know is that we might be fireballing that Kraken in the near future. In fact, we probably will be fireballing that Kraken in the near future. Okay, we can't knock over a tentacle. We
I'm here.
probably can actually knock over it. Keep attacking. This one's nearly down. And you're now there. You're basically down for the count. I'm sorry, Biscuit. That tentacle is now. Okay, disengage. Disengage. Oh, Biscuit cannot disengage. But we can revive Biscuit
Following your lead.
soon. Okay, keep stabbing. Okay, now we move up. Come on, team. We move up. And we finish off the Kraken. Do this. Get to here and start stabbing. You revive the companion. You're back. Then heal the companion.
How may I help?
Then how you can help is we can start blasting you with everything.
What?
We need to also do this on you because
Yes?
you need all the damage we need all the damage we can inflict. So you do that.
Aru beyond.
And I think we pretty much got this. Can I knock you over? I don't think I can. Though the game made a great show of lots of... Oh, no! Okay, you summoned 2 Eyeless. That's terrible! Okay, distract. We need you to distract right now. That is awful. Okay, good news. We can disintegrate Do we disintegrate the Kraken or we disintegrate the Eyeless? We disintegrate the Eyeless. That's what we do. Okay. We're going to need this hammer. Right now. This hammer is going to be needed because if we don't have this hammer, we don't have the chance of killing it by critting it.
How may I help?
Okay. We need more stuff. Fireball. Probably going to get you. Oh, ouch. That's bad. That's really bad. Do this. Okay, I need this to die now. Also disintegrate this. Come on. Okay, it's gone. Right,
Hey.
turn round. Do that.
This isn't what.
I know it's not working. I am well aware. Disengage.
I'm here.
I need you to switch to your sword. And we need to focus these down. This fight is not over yet. It's not over yet. Okay, what can we do? We can start firing every single concussive missile we can. All of them. You need to switch to your crossbow. Okay, you're down. That bounces. Good. Switch back to the gun. The combat's about to restart, isn't it? Oh yeah, the combat is restarting. 100% the combat's restarting. You can disintegrate here. The combat restarting means that this is back, which is good. Can't restore Biscuit, but we
Yes?
can keep attacking. This
Hey.
does mean we don't have the
Yes?
ogres yet.
Thing is
That's a problem. Okay, let's put this back. And then we need to do this. And then we need to knock you down again. This will be difficult, but if we can quickly blast these off before you get up,
Your thoughts must flow deeply
if the
indeed.
combat resets, we can then use those charges again. Okay, take care of you. Kick Kana in the face. Please don't get Kana in the face. We can, however, summon you. Okay, that's one down. One to go. We can deal with this one. We can deal with this one. Also, I think the combat has reset. Yes, it has. Fantastic. This does mean that we don't get to summon those ogres. That's all right, though. Because now we get one shot off. And you can disintegrate. But you know what, actually? Use the knives. Use the knives, because we're pretty close here. And combat's reset again, which actually stopped our cast. Okay, don't attack Grieving Mother, please. There you go. And we win! Whew! That was hard. That was hard. But we won. Is there anything in here treasure-wise, or is it just... Yeah, I think it's literally just the Kraken. There's a small area around here where we cannot go in. That's where the Kraken was. And this is the crystal. This is the crystal. Right. Let us save the game. Let us save the game. And hope that we can get to where we need to strike this. So,
I'm here.
we have our diving equipment, and we have a dream. Let's go. Actually, do I need that dexterity? I might need that dexterity. Let's go. The game took a while to load there. An enormous crystal juts from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you from the crystal's perfect facets. It echoes the sound of your footsteps in soft, ringing hums. Someone will have to take up Abaddon's hammer and strike the crystal. And Ondra warned that whoever does so will be buried in this place with the Eyeless. Whom do you choose? Me.
You have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
You're really building this up as we're going to die. But I think we'll live.
The gods really have it in for you. I wish they knew you like I did.
Everyone will know what you've done for us. I'll tell everyone I know. Not even the Sea Queen herself could stop me.
Your sacrifice will save many lives.
Straight into the fire, then. Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You did? You take the diving helmet and tuck it away, just in case. You heft the hammer and swing it at the crystal. A perfect, clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cavern and flees through the tunnels. You continue hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, the heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps, dozens of them. The others round the corner only see a line of Eyeless advancing. Creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds below. Yet they crane their necks towards the party, ratcheting back their piston arms. Luckily, we have mirror image. Consider who will cast it. That's Aloth. Aloth's likeness appears along the tunnel. The Eyeless roar and lunge fruitlessly at the images. The party sprints past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue towards the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes, falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. The party flees through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound Eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows, light filters through ahead. The exit must be round the next bend. But it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once, and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of rushing water echoes from the cavern. We will lever the rubble with the pry bar. There must be a weak spot, but it will take a practiced eye to find it. Who will clear the way? Oh. I don't think any of you are good at mechanics. Kana? Kana wedges the pry bar into several different nooks, but can't seem to find a leverage point. There must be a weak spot. Okay, we're gonna have to dig through it with our bare hands. Everyone attacks the rubble together, tearing at the bolts with desperate strength. A roar of shattering rocks rises from the depths, and the moon drops several feet more. A few minutes of furious work finally clear the passage. But Aloth is wounded and exhausted from the exertion. Aloth takes ragged, pained breaths and cradles one arm stiffly. You're alive, that's the important part. The moon shudders again. The party escapes into the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Your ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and smashing crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cavern rotates, lunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. The others dash across the lake. The ice squeals and crackles, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. And we have... Blessed was Wengrith, quickest of his tribe. Consider who will cast it. Kana. The words fill the party with vigor. Everyone speeds ahead while the ice cracks harmlessly behind them. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of a lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible from the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. You trudge through the rubble at the lake bottom. The water is freezing. The air in the diving helmet is acrid, and the sound of your own breathing roars in your ears. Still, it's better than drowning. You navigate out the settling rubble and see the ghostly light at the surface above. At last you reach the shallows. You plunge through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling, but alive. Take that, Ondra. Take that! We have defied your fate for us. You stand at the edge of a lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water's surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up, and it does. The fragment of Ione Bratha rises, unbroken. Ice reforms across the surface of a lake, spreading in long, freezing fingers. Eyeless file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind around the moon in an ever-widening spiral. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have killed many innocent people.
We do not cherish violence, but we will fight to defend the legacies of this world.
The Eyeless stand still, ratcheting their arms back.
In one hand a hammer, in the other a mace. We protect the greatest works of civilization, lest it collapse beneath its own weight.
Then why did you storm Durgan's battery 200 years ago? Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Ondra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The Eyeless are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
Yes, you were transformed against your will.
And we were made to betray something we cherish.
You feel their bitter agony like a hammer strike. The legacy of the Engwithans, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
Suddenly, they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. Where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. Ondra wanted Engwithan civilization forgotten.
Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Engwithans laid.
The ice shakes with the fury of the Eyeless.
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheet cracks and groans.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the Eyeless.
An argument I've had with the Lore College. Now I have divine counsel in my favor, and I can hardly present it as evidence. How frustrating.
Betrayal of memory upsets you. Greatly.
It is accepting a gift only to spit in the face of the giver. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words, and the anger behind them, in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
What do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan.
Bringing back a god. What do you mean about returning to yourself?
When Ione Bratha fell, Abidan lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died.
He doesn't quite know the why, though. He only has his opinion of why.
But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
The Pargrunum were obsessed with the past. They died in the keep they built to honor it.
And their brethren have built a culture that stretches across Eora, all because they recognize the importance of their shared legacy.
Yet the Pargrunen of Durgan's Battery might have built more if they'd surrendered this obsession with legacy and moved east.
To what exactly? A war with the peoples there? A deadly blight or crippling disease? The future you would have given them is uncertain. Yet it would have bequeathed Kith nothing so great as Durgan's steel.
The Dilwardens and Glanfathan have fought 2 wars over their history. And still they haven't moved forward.
But the memory of those wars has likely saved them from another now, when it would shatter a Barondir would.
Now you point to a hypothetical future to make your point.
Yet it is one their history bears out. They fought over beliefs and territory. It is only the memory of pain and loss that prevents them from taking up arms again.
The Stalwart and the Iron Flail remained at odds even in the face of bigger threat, all because of their history.
The problem is not that they remember too much of their history, but rather too little.
The ice underfoot suddenly becomes clear. Between your boots, you see an ocean separating Adir and the Eastern Reach.
Great Serens and Dirwoodens alike began as pioneers from Adir. They all came seeking opportunity.
Boats as small as ants crawl across the glassy blue.
Were they to look farther back, they would see their common origins and desires.
But the experience of history is subjective. People remember what feels immediate and personal, just as you remember your own betrayal.
A painful truth.
They pause, recalling their suffering. You feel it radiate from them like heat.
Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
Then we need more. I've said my piece then.
And we have listened.
Perhaps Abaddon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world. Something grinds and rumbles from the chest of the Eyeless. It's laughter.
A facile argument. One that defends stasis, not progress.
Ondra said Abaddon's memory would threaten the peace between the gods.
Just as fire clears dead wood from a forest, struggle makes way for new developments.
Flame rolls across the ice. As it dies away, a clump ice melts. The towers rise higher.
Conflict is part of progress. Peace and ignorance is not worth keeping.
I don't think you're going to make much progress there, but maybe this. Aloth, you were part of the Leaden Key. Surely you understand why some secrets need to be kept.
I thought I did. But who would hold the Leaden Key accountable?
We cannot defend the intentions of a group that kills to hide secrets.
And to what end? To defend the gods? Or themselves? More and more these days, I wonder.
I don't think we can do anything here.
And we have listened.
What about this last one? Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people it calls are long gone. It's pain with no purpose.
Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
I'm awakened. I'm tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
The creatures raise their misshapen arms, and the voice of their souls is as deep and melodious as a bell. Sometimes, moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress.
That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved.
Souls ponder this.
Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain.
I've said my piece.
And we have listened.
So, we've done all of this. I think, regardless of what happens here, we should try and have them reforge Abaddon. Not reforging Abaddon leaves that void. We have tried to persuade the Eyeless that maybe we should, as much as it's quite complicated. in the sense that we've presented arguments, and this is the very stuff that Grieving Mother sort of does with their cipher powers and shaping memories. But we're trying to provide context here for Abaddon as to what happened and why people did things. Doesn't mean the context is right, but I want Abaddon to understand the things that happened around Abaddon. It's up to Abaddon to make the choices as to how they're going to deal with this information, but I want them to have the information. I don't know if we were able to persuade the Eyeless that this was a good idea. We will find out. Very well. Return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
I hope I've made the right decision. I probably haven't. The great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop, and you feel for a moment as if all the air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends, and you are standing in the snow, looking over Kieran's scar.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Ondra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
Did we achieve peace, or did we just cause calamity? I don't know. We did help bring a god back to being. Not sure Ondra's going to be happy about that. The hammer has gotten stronger. It is now a mythic weapon. With 18 accuracy and 65% extra damage, grants Abaddon's power on critical hit. Prone for 5 seconds. Grants Echo of the Maker. AoE, only vessels, frightened for 3 seconds. Just a passive. Grants Abaddon's Labor, which deals a huge amount of crush damage, plus 4 might. Ring of the Ancient Forge, which stuns. Despite being topped by a mere fragment of Abaddon's original hammer, this weapon, now sized for Kith hands, is still an instrument of awesome destructive power. The faces of the great hammer's head still bear the tool marks of their creator. Not even the fire of the White Forge could erase Abaddon's work. Major adventure completed! Yay! Also, you've taken a few injuries. Yep, the quest is completed. The Forgotten Army. Did I make the right choice? No idea. Absolutely none. A supplicant is being escorted out. You're still in prison. And we are done. We are done, I do believe, with the White March. Yeah, that's it. The White March is done. But we are not yet done with everything related to this. For we can still check out Stalwart and see if people have anything to say. And we still have the minor matter of the tower between Kednua and the White March with that wizard. And we have the other minor matter of Kednua on the verge of being attacked by that incredibly angry lord, who's been delayed for an incredibly long time, I might add. And then we have the other minor matter of the Iron Flail and everything else. But that'll be for next time, folks. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. If you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications when we return, tidying up what loose ends remain in the White March, and then heading back to Badirwood. We'll probably come back here, if only to apply Durgan Steel to things. Haven't found anything I want to do that with yet, but I'm sure I will. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.